Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Olamide Olaoba and I'm your grad school advisor. If today is your first time on this channel, Grad School Advisor provides fully funded admission tips, graduate school sustainability advice, and postdoctoral career guidance. So if you want to follow more on these tips, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I release new video. So today, it's another edition of our series on grad school champion, and today I have with me Opeyemi Alausa, who will be sharing his academic journey so far on how he secured a direct PhD offer from undergrad. So thank you for joining us, Opeyemi.
Thank you so much, sir. Today.
So just briefly, I would like you to, introduce yourself and what you currently doing.
Okay. So my name is Abdullahi Opeyemi Alausa, a PhD student of biochemical engineering at the University of Iowa, where I work specifically in the biological and pharmaceutical lab. I work with the control release of materials or nanocomposites in the treatment disease.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's a good one. So you are really doing well. Thank you, Opeyemi. So I just want you to walk us through your academic journey, like where it all started from. How do you find yourself in the University of Iowa?
I attended Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Department of Biochemistry to be precise, where I graduated with a second class upper degree. So after which I went for my National Youth Service Corps at the Federal Institute of Research, Ibadan, Oyo State. Then I proceeded for some graduate training program in Russia, after which I found my way here to the United States.
Thank you so much for sharing with us briefly how it has all started from and until now. So there is something fascinating about your journey, and that is securing a direct PhD offer from undergrad. Yes, of course, we have some students out there who are doing this, and I celebrate their excellence, but then it's very rare. A lot of students, would have undergone master's degree, taken master's degree and before securing a PhD offer. I mean, not to talk of even securing a fully funded PhD offer. So it is incredible, and I celebrate your excellence. So can you just share with us what you have done differently that made you achieve this feat?
So after my graduation, I started by writing publications, or let me say participating in minor research activities. So I was able to come up with about 10 to 15 publications during my undergraduate/NYSC period. So I started by participating in minor research in the lab, volunteering in one or two research labs during our undergraduate days, write some of the research that our previous seniors have done and converted it to manuscripts, wrote few review articles, and collaborated with some in other departments like physiology, anatomy, and even a fellow biochemistry student like me in other universities. So I feel like that was what gave me like a start on to say, okay, yes, in preparation for my PhD program, let me put it that way. After having a track publication record, I wrote GRE, so where I had a score of 324. Then I went for one or two little trainings in Russia to gain exposure, and I secured strong recommendations from strong faculties.
That's a good one. So I will just start by, summarizing what you have said so far. So the first thing that you mentioned was academic writing. So in securing your direct PhD of academic writing was very fundamental. You also talked about writing the graduate record exam, which you passed excellently. So, which is very important. The first thing is academic writing. The second thing is passing the graduate record exam very excellently, that like you have done. And again, you talked about um, collaboration. Collaboration is very, very important. Your ability to collaborate with others, not just within your department, but also outside your school. It's very, very important. So your collaborative skills has also helped you. And lastly, you talk about the strength of recommendation you received from your Russia university where you had a training prior to your
Yeah.
PhD. So if
Okay.
you are here to see my video on recommendation letter, I encourage you to see my video on recommendation letter. It is very important that your recommender use personalized terms that apply specifically to you as an applicant when when they are submitting a recommendation letter on behalf of you. It is important that they don't use generic terms. It is important that they use terms that applies to you. And it is also very important that you know your recommenders very well. So if you are here to see this video, you can see the link up here, and definitely you can check my video on recommendation to understand what you need to do differently to secure a good recommender. Thank you, Okoyemi, for sharing this wonderful journey of yours with
Thank you,
us.
sir.
And again, I still want you to tell us what constitutes your application material piece by piece. I mean, I just want you to tell us what you have done differently.
So initially, let me say I wrote um, a strong statement of purpose. So like for me, when I wrote my first draft, I gave it out to my mentors, two, three people to check for it, do necessary corrections. They corrected me. This is how I can improve the strength. So I wrote a strong SOP. Then I submitted my transcript. So after which I submitted my graduate record examination score. I submitted my recommendation letters. I submitted my list of publications. And as well, I was required to write a diversity statement of how I've contributed to diversity and equity so far. So I think those are the application materials I was able to write and submit that gave me this admission offer.
So thank you for sharing your piece by piece skills on how you put your application materials together. So and I'm particularly fascinated about the SOP aspect. So and again, if you are here to see my video on how to write an excellent statement of purpose, again you can find a link up here. I explain piece by piece, sentence by sentence, what should constitute each paragraph of your SOP, including statements of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I encourage you to see this video as you prepare for your grad school application. Thank you, Okoyemi, for sharing with us how you were able to put those pieces together to make a very strong and competitive application. I also want to, pick from what you have said so far, which I will also use to encourage applicants out there, which is getting a mentor. It is very important to, seek people that have walked through this path. They will sure help you to achieve what you are intending to get. It is important when you stand on the shoulders of giants, you will see far. So lean on their experience, get thoughtful advice from people around you. Of course, you don't want to have too many mentors so you don't get confused, but you want to make sure you have those ones that are leading by examples, those that have worked your part very excellently, and I'm sure you will definitely excel in the path. So thank you so much again. And then the next question I will be asking from you, before you mentioned about having some training in Russia, and I was going to ask if you had additional training apart from your undergrad training.
Okay, so let me say my time in Russia was just to like improve my research ability and more like trying to have an international experience of what the outside world away from Nigeria looks like. So I think Russia generally was there to just improve my experience research wise, social abilities, my interaction with people, and have an idea of what a proper workshop would look like. So I think those are the strengths and improvements that Russia has given me so far.
That's very, very interesting. So again, it's also a wake-up call for applicants out there. Just make sure you are doing something. Start your undergrad while waiting to secure that fully funded offer. Just make sure you are doing something that is very relevant to your application. That can be, included on your application material, and it will still say a lot of things about you. It will still speak volume. It will still speak high of your application. Make sure whatever you are doing is contributing to the success of your application. So there's no success without challenge. Looking at the journey so far, what are the challenges you can relate to? And how did you overcome some of these challenges?
Yeah, I think that is a very much crucial question. So I think the first challenge I had was how do I solve, how do I even go about this part? So and I solved that by walking up to a lecturer in person of Dr. T.I. Adelusi of Lautech, who showed us the way of, who showed us the basic way, the basic requirement. I'm saying, okay, this is how you go about this. This is how you go about this. This is what you do. This is what you do. He was really helpful. He happens to be the examination officer at the Department of Biochemistry now. So he was really helpful in trying to like set the momentum, set the tone. Like, okay, this is how you stand. So it got to some point, like, okay, I knew, like, okay, he said, you have to start writing, you have to start collaborating, and that was all. So the next thing was, okay, what next afterwards? How do I even write? Here is my supervisor, my a mentor, a academic father telling us, you have to write, you have to do this, you have to participate in research. Then I got stuck again. How do I write? That came another challenge. Then I was lucky to meet great scholars, Olamide, Olaoba, Ayinde Sulaiman. So those are my mentors who taught me the basics and etiquette of scientific writing. So I think summarily, my challenges at first was how to start. And I had an academic father who said us through. Then when I started, I could not navigate my way. Then I had my mentors who eased my paths, and they could foretell that this is the likely challenges you face. So by the time I get to those junctions, I already know how to navigate my way. So it was more like I walked on the path of those that have known the way, and it was very much easier on my part. And by the time I applied to just 5 schools. I got 2 master's admission, one Ph.D. admission, one waiting list, and the final one apologized or appealed. I come back for my postdoctoral studies with him. Thank you so
Wow,
much.
that's a good one. I just want to reiterate and pick again. I'm going to be picking from what you have said so far, and advising applicants out there. It all come down to you getting a mentor. It's like you can do no wrong getting good mentors who have walked the path you want to walk. Look for people that genuinely, that will genuinely choose you when you have chosen them. So, it is important that you choose a mentor and your mentor also choose you. So that way you can be berated honestly and you can also be encouraged honestly. So thank you, Opeyemi, for being genuine in your explanation. So you applied to a total of 5 schools and you
Yes,
got responses from about four, right?
yes.
Okay,
So the
so you
fifth one
secured.
was
Okay,
waitlisted.
so can you secure two masters admissions into which what is the name of the schools you secured
Okay,
masters?
so I secured the master's admission to Cornell University, biomedical engineering. I secured master's admission to Carnegie Mellon University, biomedical engineering. I'm here in Iowa for my PhD, biochemical engineering. And at the University of Virginia, I so like I had a oral agreement with the supervisor. I secured the offer, then I waited for the official decision, the official admission letter. So, but unfortunately, maybe it is not to be. The supervisor was not able to secure the grant he was expecting. So he sent me the grant letter, seeing how we feel, and sent a mail apologizing, saying, in case I do want to pursue a postdoctoral degree tomorrow, I should strongly consider coming back to him. And even just of recent, I sent him a mail to tell him I'm now in my new school, I'm here already settling down and everything. And he was so encouraged, requesting that at some point, at intervals, we should check up on each other and I should explain some of my laboratory research progress that I've been doing so far.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. It's like you have a new mentor. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, lastly, I'll be asking you. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have listened to your story and they are motivated, they are inspired. So, what do you want to tell them?
I would say what has worked for me, some really, was relying on the shoulders of people that have gone ahead of me. So I literally feel like for somebody that feels like, oh, there's an Abdullahi out there, there's an Okoyemi out there that wants to be like, rely on people that have walked the path you want to walk on. And I feel like everything is going to be much more easier for you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Okoyemi, for taking your time out, joining me on this series. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for being honest and for sharing your academic journey so far. And I'm so sure a lot of people out there are inspired, they're encouraged about how far you have gone. And I want to wish you a very successful PhD journey.
Thank you so much, sir.
So we have come to the end of this video. If you are inspired by this video, please share, like, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I release new video. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.